Indonesia is preparing to deploy up to 8,000 troops to Gaza for peacekeeping missions in the enclave.
It's the first country to publicly commit troops to the International Stabilization Force as part of Phase 2 of the U.S.-brokered ceasefire agreement. A spokesperson for Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto said the proposed multinational peacekeeping force could total around 20,000 troops, but added that deployment terms and areas of operation remain under negotiation. Well, Indonesia officially became a founding member of U.S. President Trump's Board of Peace last month. The organization aims to ensure reconstruction in Gaza proceeds effectively. Mr. Prabowo's decision to join the alliance drew widespread criticism at home, with public anger over U.S. involvement in Israel's attacks on Gaza.
Mr. Prabowo has stood firm on the move, arguing that as the world's largest Muslim nation, Indonesia must step up its efforts to stabilize Gaza. All this, he maintains, would help reach an eventual two-state solution to the deadly conflict.
For more, CNA senior correspondent Saiful Ismail is reporting live from Jakarta for us. Saiful, so there's quite a bit of uncertainty surrounding the deployment of Indonesian troops. What do we know so far?
Well, that's right, Julie. Many of the key details are still unclear at this point, including when the troops will be deployed, where they would be deployed, and how many personnel would actually be involved. Right now, different authorities in Indonesia are giving very different figures. If you recall, President Prabowo Subianto told the United Nations he was willing to send up to 20,000 troops to Gaza as part of a peacekeeping and humanitarian effort. The presidential office is now suggesting the figure could be closer to 8,000. And yesterday, the Defense Ministry gave an even smaller estimate of around 600 peacekeepers. Officials stressed that operational details will only be announced once there's clarity on the international mandate and the legal framework for any deployment. We may get a clearer picture next week on February 19th, when members of the Board of Peace are due to meet. One of the items expected to be discussed is the possible deployment of troops to Gaza as part of an international stabilization force. Now, President Prabowo has been invited to attend that inaugural meeting, although the presidential office says he has yet to confirm his attendance. If he does go, there's also speculation that he could meet U.S. President Donald Trump and potentially sign an agreement on tariffs between Indonesia and the United States.
Well, Saiful, many Indonesians criticize President Prabowo's move to join the Trump-led peace initiative when it was first announced. I mean, is that reticence, if you like, still there? And what has the president been saying about, the country's involvement?
Well, Arnold, public sentiments have not changed. Religious groups and foreign policy experts have raised serious concerns about how the peacekeeping mission is being led. The proposed deployment would fall under the Board of Peace, which is an initiative backed by the United States. Critics argue it would be very different if the mission were led by the United Nations. Now, the current Board of Peace is seen by many as a unilateral US-driven initiative, and one that Indonesians often view as biased towards Israel. A UN-led mandate, they say, would avoid the perception that Indonesia is being drawn into a pro-American agenda. There are also broader diplomatic concerns. International relations experts warn that sending troops without a clear commitment to a two-state solution could undermine Indonesia's long-standing credibility as a consistent and principled supporter of Palestinian independence. However, within the government and military circles, there's broad support. Officials have long positioned Indonesia as a guardian of peace, and many lawmakers back the move on humanitarian grounds, pointing to the country's deep experience in peacekeeping missions going back to 1957. Now, Indonesia is currently the world's fifth largest contributor to UN peacekeeping operations. It has close to 3,000 personnel deployed across 8 active missions, including its largest contingent in Lebanon, credentials that supporters say justify Indonesia taking on a role in Gaza.
Okay, Saiful, thank you very much for that report. CNA senior correspondent Saiful Ismail from Jakarta.